All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, guys? Rio here. Going to be talking about this small 3-game slate on the DraftKings NBA streets tonight. As always, hit the like and subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Let's waste no time. Let's get right into it. First game of the night, Portland versus Memphis. Rematch of last night's game. Really low over-under, 208.5. Memphis favored by 2. Both these sides seen a little bit of a price bump, but should be pretty straightforward. Very similar situation to last night. First game on the slate tonight. Excuse me. So we'll get the injury news on Luke Kennard and John Conchar, but we have a pretty good example of how things are going to shake out for both teams. Both these teams are terrible offensively. A little bit. Memphis has been pretty good defensively, but they gave up a ton of points last night. Portland's been pretty bad all season long defensively. Starting on the Portland side of things, we got Anthony Simons, 7.7K. Great spend-up option here again. Upper mid-tier spend-up option. I only played 26 minutes last night, put up 24.75 DK points, but this game's projected to be close. Should see mid-30 minutes. Going to take a ton of shots when he's out there, so I don't mind him at 7.7K. I think Jeremy Grant is okay, a little bit under on him just for the matchup. It's going to be guarded by Vince Williams tonight, so I prefer Anthony Simons if choosing between the two. Duop Reith popped off last night, put up 34.25 DK points in just 23 minutes. Grizzlies defense definitely much worse on the interior with no Jaren Jackson Jr. down low, and it's pretty enticing. We saw Duop Reith attempt 8 3-pointers last night, so we know that he's got that in his bag. I think that Jabari Walker is a totally fine pivot. You could even play them alongside of each other. I think they're going to split the center minutes. He actually got a price decrease down to 4.1K, so I like him a little bit better with the power forward center eligibility. And he should be out there for a lot of center minutes with the small ball lineup for the Blazers. And I think you consider Toumani Camara should play pretty big minutes. Yeah, I think he's okay. I think Tybal, he's been playing really well lately, put up 20 and 24 DK points in back-to-back games. I do like Delano Banton, though, at 3.6K. Minutes have kind of been up and down for him since he's joined the team. But the production's been pretty good when he gets the minutes. In every game that he's seen 20 or more minutes, he scored no less than 19.75 DK points. And even last game, played 20 minutes, put up almost 40 DK points. So we know that he's got that range of outcomes there. But I do think that he could get some more minutes in this one. And then paying down for him will help us get up to the Jokic's of the world. On the Grizzlies side of things, Vince Williams, I'm going to like playing him a lot as long as Jaren Jackson Jr. is out. JJJ leaves a ton of usage, about 36% over the last couple of months. That's just going to be vacated. I do expect Vince to continue to take over that usage role. And he, like I said earlier, he's got multi-stat category upside, been kind of flirting with some pretty big games lately with getting close to double-digit rebounds and assists. So I'm going to keep firing away at him at 6.6K. Santi Aldama looking at pretty low ownership right now from what I'm seeing, only 5.4K, but nothing really changed much about the situation. And last night he was, 30, 40% owned in some tournaments. So if he's going to be low owned in the same scenario as last night, I'd be fine going back to him. I think Jordan Goodwin is a pretty good play at 5.2K. Would need probably one of Conchar or Kennard to be out for him to be a great play, but I think that he's pretty safe from a minute standpoint. GG Jackson, I would still be max one of him and Santi Aldama. I'm okay with him. I think I prefer Santi. I just think that his minutes are a little bit safer. And the range of outcomes is not as wide as it is for GG Jackson. He's got low teen games in his game log, so I'm fine getting away from him. Zaire is somebody that should be taking on more usage, but never really loved playing him. But it is nice to have the shooting guard, small forward eligibility. And then these centers, Lamar Stevens, Trey Jameson. The price tags are pretty close. Lamar has power forward eligibility, so I think I'll side with him more, and he's paid off this price tag multiple times. since he's came over from the Celtics. So I think I like Lamar Stevens a good bit. Next game on the slate, Denver Nuggets taking on the Lakers in LA. This game is a pick'em, 228 over under, so pretty solid game to attack. And I think that we have a pretty good idea of who we want to look at. Both these teams are dealing with injuries to some degree. Nuggets a little bit more important with Jamal Murray listed questionable. He did miss last game, been kind of dealing with this ankle thing for a little bit now. So I think that he has a pretty good chance to miss. I think that the spread would kind of indicate that as well. I think that the Nuggets would probably be favored if Jamal Murray were to be in maybe by 2 or 3 points. So I think that with the game closely lined like it is tonight, do expect him to miss this one. So we'll probably see Reggie Jackson, or we will see Reggie Jackson start again here. And then the Lakers, they have the usual guys listed questionable, probable, AD listed probable tonight. So expect him to play. LeBron James listed questionable. I do expect him to play. This game is pretty big for them. They need to rattle off a ton of wins right now. So yeah, they need these guys out there for a ton of minutes. So I really like attacking the studs in this game. Starting on the Denver side of things, though, this is a pretty good matchup for some of these guys. The Lakers have been a pretty bad three-point defense all season long, as well as being one of the worst transition defenses this season. Nuggets been really solid all season long defensively, but they're a little bit more vulnerable to pick and roll men. So I think we know who to attack on the Lakers side of things. But yeah, outside of that, Nuggets, one of the better defensive teams in pretty much all the categories this season. But yeah, Jokic, top spin-up option tonight, not really close. He's on a tear lately. He's averaging almost 70 DK points over his last 5 games. Averaging 65 versus the Lakers in 2 games this season. He's a usage monster. We know that. We know that he's got the triple-double upside every single night. But if Jamal Murray were to miss, should expect a lot more usage to go his way, and 11.4K is pretty reasonable for him. Yeah, I mean, if Jamal Murray plays, I would expect him to probably be a full go. But so yeah, he would be a good play at 7.6K, but I'm expecting him to miss this one. So that makes me get on guys like Michael Porter Jr., who is priced up in this one, but this is a really good spot for him. Lakers bottom 4 3-point defense this season, bottom 5 catch and shoot. Michael Porter Jr. is 8th in the league in catch and shoot scoring this season, as well as being the Nuggets top transition scorer, and Lakers are bottom 2 in transition defense this season. So I think he's got a ton of upside even at 7K, like Aaron Gordon as well, but he's going to have his hands full defensively. Guarding LeBron James most of the game. But with Jamal Murray likely to miss this one, he does see an uptick in his DK scoring, averages about 36 DK points per 36 minutes. So he looks pretty good at 6.4K. And then Reggie Jackson at 5.9K. I think he might get a little bit overlooked here just because he's a little bit priced up for even if he were to get the start with Jamal Murray out. But I like it. I like this matchup against the Lakers. I would like to attack the Lakers with opposing guards all season long, and I think he could play a ton of minutes here. He's been okay as a starter this season, averaging right around 30 DK points in 16 starts this season. So yeah, I think I'm fine getting to Reggie Jackson. And then KCP at 4.7K looks like a pretty solid value. Taking a lot more 3-point attempts lately, shooting 8 for 14 from 3 the last 2 games. So I think that he is a totally fine value option. On the Lakers side of things, really like the spot for Anthony Davis. He's going to need to be leaned on a lot in this game on the offensive end and defensive end, really. Obviously, you have the toughest assignment guarding Jokic, but he's done pretty good. And he's had mixed results in these matchups. He went for 36.5 in the first game, or the last game these two teams faced off, and then 61.3 in the first game. Be a good matchup. The Nuggets bottom 5 pick and roll man defense, so he should be able to get it going there. I think that he's going to probably play 40 minutes in this one if it stays close. Which it is projected to stay close. So I love him as a spend-up option at 10.2K. Then LeBron, he should be good to go tonight. I'm expecting him to play. That's how I'm going to approach it. But he's been playing really well lately as well, averaging 52.5 DK points in 4 straight. Scoring no less than 52.5 DK points in 4 straight games. He's averaging right around 46 DK points in 2 games versus Denver this season. But like I mentioned with Anthony Davis, these guys are going to be out there for a ton of minutes. So we could definitely see 40 minutes out of him and Anthony Davis tonight, and you have to be interested if that's the case. I think D'Angelo Russell is a good option at 7.2K. He's playing really good this season. Kind of fits that mid-tier build if you want to go that way. And this is probably the best game environment on the slate, so I'd be okay getting to him. I just don't think he has huge upside with this team pretty healthy, but on a small slate, you need raw points, and I think that he's a pretty solid option there. And then Austin Reeves is going to see probably the weakest defender on the Nuggets side in one of Jamal Murray or Reggie Jackson. And he's averaging 34 DK points in 2 games versus Denver this season. So he is solid option at 6.5K. Next game, last game on the slate, Houston Rockets taking on the Phoenix. This is the 3rd time these teams have faced off in 4 games, I believe. Suns looking to be getting healthier tonight with Bradley Beal upgraded to probable, I believe. Yeah, he's probable tonight. And Yusuf Nurkic off the injury report. They do still have Eric Gordon listed questionable, but that doesn't really change too much. Rockets pretty much fully healthy outside of still missing Tari Eason. So going to be pretty straightforward on their side of things. Yeah, I think we have a pretty big sample size of how this game is going to play out since this is the 3rd time these teams have faced off in the last couple, I think in the last week or so. Suns pick and roll defense has not been great all season long. I really like to attack them with opposing guards, so that makes me have a ton of interest in Fred VanVleet at 6.9K. He's done pretty good in 2 matchups this week, went for 38 and 42 in the last 2 games versus Phoenix. So yeah, I like him. I think he's got, really, really solid floor. I don't know if the ceiling is massive right now, but the floor looks pretty good on him. I think Sengun is just okay. I'm not too excited about 8.4K Sengun, who's just really not justified that price tag in a while. He's only 6x that current price tag twice in the last 12 games, and this really is not the best matchup for opposing centers. Suns are top 4 in DVP versus that position this season. I think I much prefer getting down to Jabari Smith Jr., who's rebounding the ball really well lately. 16, 13, 17, and 16 rebounds in his last 4 games. Put up 37 and 55 DK points in the last 2 meetings versus this Phoenix team. So I prefer him to Sengun tonight. And then Jalen Green, he had a massive game last time out. He got downgraded to questionable. Sorry if I'm a little distracted. We got the fights going on in the background, so guys getting knocked out. But yeah, Jalen Green, he had a huge game last time out, got downgraded to questionable with an illness throughout the day. Was kind of expecting him to sit, and then he came back and just torched the Suns, put up 50.75 DK points, just 29 minutes. He's going to get a ton of ownership tonight. I'm expecting upper, mid 30s to 40%. And that seems like a spot I'm willing to get away from. I think people are going to be a little too game log watchy, and I guess he does fit that mid-tier type build, but that looks like somebody I'm okay getting away from. And then the value guys, I think Cam Whitmore would make your player pool. I much prefer him to Dylan Brooks any slate pretty much, but he's got a ton of upside coming off the bench, and we do like this matchup for guards. So I like getting to Cam Whitmore tonight. Really only considering the top 2 studs on the Suns side of things, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. I think I slightly lean Devin Booker, but it's a tougher matchup for both of them. Don't really want to read into it too much because they're going up against Jabari Smith Jr. and Dylan Brooks, but the price tags are pretty good, and it's such a small slate that we just need the raw points. So I think you have to consider them tonight. And then I think that Royce O'Neal would be in consideration if Eric Gordon were to miss. He's playing a ton of minutes right now. I think that they're going to want to continue to play him a ton of minutes because he just provides a lot. Really solid defender, kind of good 3-point shooter, adds assists and rebounds to the stat line. So I think they're going to continue to play him regardless. So I'd be okay keeping him in the player pool at 5.3K. I think Grayson Allen, a little bit less upside with the return of Bradley Beal, but he's still playing a ton of minutes. So if you wanted to land on him as your last piece in, he can always get hot from deep. And then Nurkic, he had a really big game last time out. Shot 16 free throws. They were doing the hack-a-shack thing with Nurkic. So I would expect 16 free throws again, probably ever this season for Nurkic. But yeah, he put up 40 DK points at that one, put up 60 against the Lakers. So the upside is still there, but I think I'm okay getting away from it. Don't really love the matchup for interior guys versus the Suns or the Rockets, who've been pretty good with their rim defense all season long. But that is going to do it. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Helps us out a ton if you guys do. And then I will see you guys on Tuesday. Have a good weekend.